ways these seeds control you, it's not even funny. So we'll have to see how that plays while we come into what items we have. But here we go! And it looks like most of our runners are starting at the sanctuary. You find a map to Turtle Rock there, and we also find 50 rupees at Link's house. And asazas is going to immediately make the uncle play. Pretty little less common here in this kind of seed, but looks like Dr. Bob is actually going to be making the early Houlihan room run. One of the common tricks, if you glitch the game out just right when entering certain areas, you can enter a secret room known as the Chris Houlihan room. Contains, I believe it's like 250 rupees or something like that total. Definitely a good way to get some early cash.
I believe a little bit more than that, and that cash can be very valuable with having the keys and maps shuffled around the overworld. You may need that money a bit more direly than doing an open seed.
Gamercal getting some early bombs from the tree pull there, and we got big 20 from Uncle and a piece of heart from the chest nearby. So some early bombs for Gamercal. Really good play early on. That'll help get them some more early cash, and we get an early lumberjack. Was that hook shot?
I didn't see it, but I think Gamercal did.
Yeah, we could be seeing an Agahnim seed early on. I'm going to check the restream real quick to verify what I just saw, because if that was hook shot, yes, it was. Hook shot in lumberjack, Agahnim seed confirmed.
Not even 2 minutes in, and we know we have to fight Aga. And that's something no Keysanity runner wants to see.
No, not at all. We got a small key to Ganon's tower hiding there in the mushroom spot. And now we're going to check the Forest Thieves hideout. So let's see what we find here. We got our first compass of the race. Compass to Tower of Hera. Not as useful as maps are, even for Keysanity, but nonetheless, it's there. Might as well pick it up.
Yep. And of course, that bomb drop from the poultry, that helps alleviate some of the need for cash. And so our runners are going to be pleased with that and going to be taking advantage of that as much as possible. Recitador went with a little bush strat to find their bomb.
Yeah, and both him and Dr. Bob going to do the race game real quick. We're going to find a small key there, so that was not a complete waste of time. Or is it? Let's see what key we get. It's going to be a small key to Pod. Ooh, that is definitely a helpful key to find early on. As Gamercal now heading into Blind's Hut.
Absolutely. We got 6 total pod keys, but you can get by with just about 3 if you're clever enough and you can handle the hammer jump.
I would say 4 is probably the ideal. We've got a 5 arrow upgrade. Compass to Misery Mire here in Blind's Hut. We also find another compass to Eastern. And just the single rupee. And we find, mushroom, hashtag fetch quest. And
fun times.
Pack. Yep, 10 arrow pack in there. We also didn't mention this, but we also saw the library had a map on it. We don't know what to, and we probably never will because they doubt they'll be picking that up.
Yep, you only need just enough maps to figure out where the crystals are or where the pendants are, and the rest, just good old deduction.
Truth be told, all you really need to know is where the pendants are, and then you can use both Sir Hassela and the bomb shop in the Dark World to determine where the rest are. And we got a 5 arrow upgrade there. I didn't see what the first... we got a big key to Desert in the Chicken Shack. Oh, and I didn't realize this. We found Das Boots.
We found the boots.
Big find for Gamercal. That means we're going to get a very fast seed here. And we also found the magic cape as well. We didn't catch that as well. So many items so quickly.
As I always like to say, well, what do we have here?
Indeed. 10 arrows from the bottle vendor there for Recitador. So yeah, we were finding a lot of items very quickly, which worries me, to be honest, because you know what happens when we find a lot of items early on.
Yep, you get nice big lulls where not much to find, and the game gives you so many options and so many routes that it's hard to decide what's really the best direction to take. Gamercal in there over in Blind's house doing a little bit of cash farming. They didn't take the Houlihan route, so they had to do this to visit the bottle vendor.
Yep. That takes care of the majority of our item finds this early on. So the question is, where do our runners go next? Are they going to go to the Eastern Palace? They're going to head over to Escape, given that we don't have a sword. I highly doubt it. And then there's also the South Shore run, including the Dam, the Mini Moldorm Cave, and the Ice Rod Cave, which is going to have to rely on bomb strats. Again, we do not have a sword to start off with, so they're going to have to play a little risky here.
Yep, personally I would take on Eastern because we don't have a sword. We don't even have a hammer. We have no consistent weaponry that doesn't have ammo. So Eastern is a little bit safer, and we got boots, so everything's quick.
Alright, gamercal and asazas now heading down to the lower end of Kakariko. Going to be checking what we've already seen from the other two, seeing that there's a map in the library. But they're going to actually pick... Asazas is actually going to pick it up since he's already got the boots. And it's a map to high... Oh, twist the knife, Hyrule Castle, man. That is complete garbage.
Well, hey, let's be fair. Now we know where the castle is. Yeah, early on, we're going to see our runners covering a lot of the same ground. Just a matter of what order they cover it in. But after we get through probably this, Eastern, probably Escape and South Shore, that's when things really start splitting up and really start getting interesting.
Absolutely. So many different routes we can take, so many possible things we can find. And when it comes to runners like these, as good as they are, it does come down to, as I always say, what routes you take, what gambles do you make, and most importantly, which ones pay off. Though at some point, we're going to be wanting to find at least one sword, because we have the magic cape, and we knew we were going to find that early because we have an Agahnim confirmed seed here. So once they find a sword, they're going to be able to hit that Aga Tower. Of course, they also need both the Aga Tower keys, which are mixed into the logic. So we need to find both those keys plus a sword, and then we can finally take on Agahnim and get ourselves that hook shot.
Now, we will also, however, require the lamp. There is a dark room in Aganim's tower, and many runners are able to do that room without requiring the lamp, but the game logic will not force that.
Indeed. Oh, gamercal and Dr. Bob finding the first of those Aga Tower keys in the Bonk Cave. Nice find for them, as Azaz is now heading over to the dam, and Recitador right behind him. I think we found a piece of heart in the dam chest, so let's see what we drain the dam and find out what's hiding. What soggy item is we got waiting for us here? And it's 300 rupees.
A lot of cash.
This early on, that's actually not a bad find. We still have Zora to check later on, so having some cash like that, I won't turn that down.
Nope, and it looks like Azazas is not about to turn down the Mini Moldorm Cave either.
It's going to have to rely on bomb strats. Going to have to be very careful with how he uses these bombs, but in this case, you really don't have a choice. 5 potential items, you really can't ignore that.
Well, nice.
Ooh, there's an 8-bomb drop. That's going to help. But he gets through.
And gamercal going back to Houlihan real quick.
And we find, ooh, half magic. Nice there. Big 20. Small key to Swamp Palace. That's always nice to find. A heart piece and triple bomb. So nothing uber exciting, but certainly not a terrible Mini Moldorm Cave. And Dr. Bob is making the early desert play.
Ooh, gonna go visit Agahnim. This is a cave that a lot of people tend to forget about. They try to route it into desert, and then it takes forever to get to desert, and they never come back. But this is first ring logic. You can get here straight away. Yeah,
it is part of the Zephyr Zero logic. Azaz is now heading up to the Ice Rod Cave. We'll be checking that out, and we find, ooh, Bombos in Agahni's cave. That could come into play later. Oh, and Azaz is taking a debt to the crabs. Never a fun place to die.
Those crabs, they are brutal for such an early enemy.
Yeah, and that's especially bad because that's going to scare him away from going back to that cave. And if that Ice Rod Cave has anything, that could cost him. And we'll find out soon enough as Recitador is now making the same play. All right, so let's see what he finds as Dr. Bob and gamercal both heading back over there. And it looks like Azazas is heading up. He's going to do an early mushroom check.
You got the goods, you might as well. And if the mushroom offers a lot of money, might go visit Zora right after.
Can't. Doesn't have the...
Yes. My bad. No flippers, no mitts.
Yep, let's see what Recitador finds here in the Ice Rod Cave. Just a piece of heart, so not a terrible loss for him. And Asazas finds... Oh, the lamp!
So that's a necessary fetch quest.
Yep. Good thing he checked that early. That gives him one more piece of that Aga Tower lock puzzle that he needs. All he needs now is a sword and the 2 keys, one of which we know the location of, but where is the other? Oop, we might get an early look at the floating island here. Just triple bombs. And now he's going to be on his way over to the Eastern Palace area, find out where that green pendant is hiding, and take a look in Sir Hassela's closet.
Now, of course, we could find our second key right here, we could find a sword right here, or we could find our first glove, which will open up a chunk of Death Mountain. Not all of it, but a chunk.
And, well, don't forget, there's also a lot of other places we can check as well if we find that glove. Green pendant is in Skull Woods. All right, and in Sir Hassela's closet, we find a compass to Ganon's Tower, piece of heart, and the big key to Ice Palace.
That big key required by logic, but not necessarily required by our runners. You can bomb jump your way around that door if you get the positioning right.
Indeed. Oh, and unfortunately, gamercal also taking a death towards the Ice Rod Cave. That cave is being brutal here today. As Recitador picks up his lamp, and Asazas is now making his way to Eastern Palace. With that lamp, all the first 4 chests are in logic. So we are likely to find something here pretty soon. You know what? I'm making a prediction. I'm calling it one of these 4 chests is going to have a sword.
I think there are solid odds of that at this point. At the same time, there's solid odds that our runners might have to do the rescue escape sequence without a sword at all.
That's very true. We found a map to Thieves Town. That's actually pretty helpful right now. Now the rest of our runners slowly making their way through. Dr. Bob making that play back up, gets his piece of heart. And the rest of them getting their items out of Sir Hassela's closet. So right now, all eyes are on Asazas as he's making his way through Eastern Palace.
Yeah, skip the, I believe that's the compass chest to the right.
Ooh, that's a bit of a gamble there. You don't see that happening very often. We'll see if that pays off. And the map chest, he finds a map to Ice Palace. So now we know we'll know what that dungeon is hiding.
Yeah, it's a lot of Dark World maps very early, so their first dip into the Dark World will be pretty informative. It's good to get early.
Dr. Bob now going to turn in his mushroom here. Going to find out he's going to make the right call here and pick up his lamp. As Asazas is now working his way into the dark rooms. Thankfully, he has that lamp. Now, funny thing is, gamercal's going in here without the lamp. He's going to have to do this in the dark. Though, technically, he will still be in the logic since we now know the lamp is accessible pretty early on.
Yep, and this dark room, not a very tricky one to do. Much easier if you have a sword and you can kind of use that for radar, but I think gamercal will be able to handle it even without that advantage. Asazas is having a little trouble handling this this trick.
And unfortunately, he is not going to be able to get that item because he does not have enough health nor any means to kill the enemies, so he is stuck.
Yeah, those bombs will help, but... Oh, that cape will also help.
Hey, that works out. Nice call there. And thank God he did, because there's our fighter sword. Ladies and gentlemen, pick up the phone because yours truly just called it. So now that means we are only 1 key away. Asazas needs to get to the Bonk Cave to get that other Aga Tower key. But he's going to make his play on the escape.
Yeah, might be hoping that both keys are in this area. There's a very good chance that at least one of them is. And so we're getting our first look at the escape sequence.
Nice.
Starting off with a big 20.
Nice spin slash there. Gets through that blue guard pretty quickly.
Gamercal making use of that cape to get through the dark room without taking much damage. It's a smart play.
Indeed. And now our Gamercal picking up his fighter's sword there from that big vanilla big key chest. Recitador and Dr. Bob not too far behind on each of their runs. Let's see what Asazas finds here in the second chest here in the dungeon. The Power Glove!
Like we were saying, that opens up a fair bit.
Indeed. And that's why we love the Power Glove, because it is indeed so bad.
So bad it's good. Or just so bad.
Take your pick, folks.
Either way.
All right, now it's time for him to find out what's inside Zelda's treasure chest as Gamercal picks up his items there from Uncle. Not going to find much there. All right, Zelda, what you hiding in here in the dungeon this time? Just triple bombs. He's going to save and quit. He still needs to find both the ALTTTP keys to move on. So the question is, where's that other key? We have several places we can check now. We've got the back of escape, which is where I suspect Asazas is heading now. Indeed, I am correct. Yep. We've also got Zora now in play, though he doesn't have enough rupees for it. That is a possibility. Some of our runners do have the cash needed, so we might be seeing that play done later. But let's see what we find here in the back of escape. 3 items here, and don't even have to waste a bomb because we've got the boots. So what do we find? We have
there's a
literacy, heart container, and big 20. So now Desert Palace is a possibility. Not many items we can check right now, but we have the lamp. We could full clear desert.
We could. We don't know what it is yet, but that doesn't always stop our runners from taking the full dive. They'll only miss 2 chests into the process.
And they're not that hard to get back to, so yeah, I get the feeling that's where Asazas is heading. He is taking that cue, and he is heading off to the desert.
And let's see what's on the desert ledge as he goes. Just a big 20.
Yeah. So it's time to read some tablets.
And Asazas is saying their prayers and hoping that the key is in here.
Yep, they need he might find one of the keys, but we know he won't find both.
And of course, we're sitting here hoping for an Agahnim Tower key very early, but that hook shot may not be required until very late game. So this could be a long time without hook shot.
True, but in order for us to even get Dark World access prior to Agahnim, we do need 2 other things. We need at least the Moon Pearl, and we need either the hammer or the Titan's mitts. So we're also on the look for those just in case. Heart container there in the first chest. Gonna take a quick peek of what's on the torch. Since we have the boots, if it's anything good, we can pick it up right away. What do we find here? It's
a small key.
Oh, this could be good. What do we got? Small key 2.
Castle Tower.
There's our ALTTTP Tower key. So once he gets the other one out of the Bond Cave, he will be able to access it. But first, let's check out the big chest. And we find Fire Rod! Ooh!
Desert getting hot.
Nice wording there. I like that. And of course, he's going to skip the right side since we don't have the small key for it. Probably going to leave that big 20 alone unless he feels he needs the Zora money. But let's see what the worms are hiding this week.
And that Fire Rod is actually going to make the Lamelas much easier. You just swing the rod in their general direction. Don't have to worry about getting up close and slashing them.
Indeed, and with half magic, that's going to make it a much more viable option. So I would not be surprised if we see some Fire Rod strats from Asazas later on. And it looks like Dr. Bob is checking something we haven't seen yet, the sewers.
Yep, 1 chest, a little bit out of the way. Easy to ignore, but easy for it to have something important.
Very, very true.
As gamercal gets a little bit literate, see if they take their cue to head over to desert.
And just a heart container in the sewer chest, so not much there for Dr. Bob. He's going to go ahead and take a death warp, it looks like, as Asazas is now starting his fight with Land Molest. Fortunately, Asazas having a little trouble there with his fire rod hits, but he gets one down. Oh, nice double hit there. And it drops, some green goo. Got some Mountain Dew in the house and our first crystal of the race.
Very valuable desert. So that bottle opens up Sick Kid. Good drop to have, but not quite as important as going up and getting that hook shot. Now, of course, once our runners go through and fight Agahnim, if they don't find the Moon Pearl before doing so, they will be stuck in their respective bunny forms. All that said, there is one location in the Dark World that you can check as a bunny, and that's Pyramid Ledge.
And I have seen many a times where the Moon Pearl is indeed on that pyramid, so it is possible. We'll have to
it's happened to me personally.
I don't doubt it. But we do still have other places we can check. We can check West Death Mountain, since we have access to that as well. And we also have a couple other spots along the way here we can check. So we're not out of locations to check before we go straight to Agahnim. But Asazas is about to pick up his second Agahtower key here in the Mountain Cave. Will he take that cue and go straight for it, or will he at least check Death Mountain?
Well, Death Mountain is closer, but the runners know Aga is the better value.
And it looks like Asazas is going to take that cue. He's saving and quitting. Going back to Link's house, he is making the play.
And Recitador is making the play too, but is not equipped to do so. So they're going to get the first chest and then realize they're kind of stuck.
That is unfortunate for him. gamercal now making the play up to Land Molest himself. So, let's see what we find here in the Agahtower.
Yep, our bottom two runners, neither of them have checked the escape basement, so they don't have their literacy yet.
Yeah, and both of them are heading up to Agahtower early without the second key. So Zaza's the only one going all the way up. The other two can go as far as the dark room there. And we found a piece of heart in the first chest in the Agahtower. So not much there. We've got one more chest to check along the way. So what could we find? Nice use of bombos there by Dr. Bob. They got those chain guard knights. And Recitador now in the dark room. Gonna walk us right around. One more chest to go. What's hiding here? And we have...
Level 2!
And for Recitador, that is as far as he goes. But for Asazas, we are just getting started.
Now, of course, those bits open up the King's Tomb. They open up a fair bit more, but a lot of that is Dark World material, so that's not something that Recitador can make use of just yet.
Indeed, but let's find out what's in the King's Tomb. We have, our Fisher-Price shield.
Shields are not typically something that our runners are too concerned with, but they can save you in a pinch.
It'll be, if they get the mirror shield, or as I like to call it, the right shield, that could point them towards, that could help with the laser bridge once we get to Turtle Rock, seeing as though we don't know if that's going to be in play yet or not. Though, even when it's a pendant dungeon, I've more often than not seen Turtle Rock become necessary. Anyone who saw a couple days ago when we had Ginger Damas and Ninban running, they'll remember that Turtle Rock became a very important play, pendant or not.
Well, Dr. Bob is doing a little bit of mountain climbing, saving the old man, and going to head on up to Spectacle Rock.
Indeed, Zaza's now just about reaching Agahnim 1, so ladies and gentlemen, get your guesses in chat. How many blue balls are we going to see here today? what's the old man's escort fee? We got a map to Misery Mire.
Yep, more Dark World maps. There's Recitador, heading on over to Desert. Grab that book, good to go.
Yeah, gamercal making his way up the Aga Tower as well. Let's begin our count here, ladies and gentlemen. The first shot is guaranteed to be an orange shot. And from here, it's a random amount of blue balls. One right off the bat.
There's two.
There's two. Oh, it's already starting out trolly. This is not a good sign. Oh, got one. All right, so that's 2 hits now with 2 blue balls. The maximum you could possibly receive if you get a perfect, even if you do it perfectly, is 15 blue balls. So he's hoping for as few of those as possible. Let's see. Ooh, he's getting lucky now. Is 2 the magic number, or are we going to get at least 3? We got 3.
Meanwhile, Spec Rock hiding a big key inside.
Ooh.
Dr. Bob is about to claim.
Yep, we got 4. So 4 blue balls so far. There's 5. And that big key is for Tower of Hera. And 5 is the magic number. Down goes Agahnim with 5 blue balls. All right, so what's on the pyramid ledge? Is it what I think it is? No! 5 rupee! So the moon pearl is hiding out somewhere.
At this point, there's a fairly good chance Zora has it. There aren't that many Light World locations still in Logic.
That would be my guess as well. I kind of like, I agree with your reasoning behind that. Though that could be a problem for Asazas because he's still 110 rupees short on that regard. So that could be a problem for him.
Yep, and 110 rupees short even with the Houlihan pull.
Yeah, he's going to have to grind some rupees in a couple of spots in order to get the money he needs. That could give him some trouble.
Dr. Bob heading back up towards Ice Rod Cave.
I think he already got that. No, he's fake flippering.
Yep.
And gamercal getting ready to start his fight with Agahnim here. Now he's going to get the same number of blue balls as Asazas did. So 5 blue balls for him. And Recitador now making his way into Landmolus as Asazas is heading into the Lumberjack Cave. You have to defeat Agahnim for this tree to open up, but he is about to get his hook shot.
Yep, Dr. Bob not going to get a whole lot from this fake flipper because he doesn't have the Moon Pearl. And the Moon Pearl is what lets you do the Waterfall Fairy prematurely. But we are going to get a Zora visit nonetheless. This big 20 on the ledge.
Recitador now finishing up his fight with Landmolus, gets his green goo as Asazas is now heading up to Death Mountain. Now, for him, he's going to be fortunate because with that hook shot in play now, he can check East Death Mountain, get a whole slew of items, and that might help him get the money he needs for Zora. Speaking of, what's Dr. Bob find? The Blue Mail!
Good value from the Zora, but not progression, not what they need.
Indeed.
And actually, as we're thinking about progression, as we're thinking about who might have the Moon Pearl, could very well be Sick Kid. Our runners haven't visited him yet.
That's a very good point. Sick Kid is indeed in play after getting that bottle of green goo from Landmolus. So that's something else that could be needed. Zaza's trying to be very careful here. Does not want to die this close because there's the Hera Tower big key up here. He wants to make sure he can grab that. So the question is, where is the Moon Pearl? Is it at Sick Kid or is it on East Death Mountain?
Well, Dr. Bob's about to find out what's in the escape basement. That'll lead him over to the desert.
All right, gamercal now going to pick up his hook shot here shortly. And Asazas actually making the smart play, in my opinion, saving and quitting to get his health back up. He can go start right back at the mountain cave, get a full heal from the old man, and then make his play over to East Death Mountain with that hook shot.
Yeah, honestly, Death Mountain, way more dangerous in the light world than in the dark world. Between those dead rocks and those boulders, it's pretty obnoxious.
Yeah, definitely. I always call the Dead Rocks the unofficial mascot of the randomizer, since they are the biggest trolls you will ever find. I find them more trolly than Moldorm, to be honest. But nonetheless, he gets through and on to what I call the new hype cave, the Paradox Cave.
Yep, 7 items here and increasingly a lot of value.
Indeed. All right, so let's see what we find here. Starting out, we find a compass for Turtle Rock and a map for Swamp Palace. So what's upstairs?
Well, first, another batch of mini Moldorms, but not nearly as obnoxious as the first time.
Indeed. And gets a free bomb drop for his troubles as well. All right, let me see what we find. We find Big 20. There's the Moon Pearl.
There it is.
5 rupees. And on the other side, we find a piece of heart and a big key for Misery Mire. Not useful, all things considered, but, well, you do need it in case that ends up being a crystal.
Yep, and honestly, everything after the Moon Pearl is just icing on the cake.
Indeed, though, here's the thought for you. We have Hookshot. We have Titan's Mitts. We have Moon Pearl. He has more places to check out in this area.
Oh, a lot more.
Because with those Titan's Mitts and now that Moon Pearl in play, he has Dark Death Mountain to check out, which includes the Super Bunny Cave and the Hookshot Cave. So his item check just got a lot bigger.
Yep, and that's before coming down the mountain and checking out the village and all sorts of Dark World Overworld spots that become available from that.
Yeah.
Indeed, I was...
Oh, he knows. Going to check out the floating island. Triple bombs up there, and now it's on to the spiral cave.
In fact, I believe the entire Dark World except for Mire is now available.
Yep, you need the flute for that. But he's going to do the spiral cave. Thankfully, he has the boots, so no walk of shame this time. Just blazes right on through. And what's he find up here? Just a heart container, but hey, they need some extra health right now.
Yep, meanwhile, Recitador doing pretty much the best that you can do with a 5 blue ball Aga.
And indeed, Asazas is doing the same thing we thought and heading over to Dark Death Mountain. We get our first map check. Oh, blue pendant at Turtle Rock, Crystal 5 at Mire, and Crystal 2 at Thieves Town, Crystal 7 at Ice.
Yep, and Swamp Palace is a pendant. There's a good chance that won't end up being necessary.
Wait,
but again, Swamp is like 12 items?
Yeah, actually, I just made it. That just means a realization. If we know Swamp Palace and Turtle Rock are both pendants, and we know Skull Woods is green, once we find out the other 5-6 crystal, we're going to have a full layout.
Yeah, at the very least, we know where all the other crystals are.
Big key to Turtle Rock there for Asazas. May not be necessary, all things considered, but you never know. 10 and a 10 arrow pack as well.
Someone asking in chat if it's possible for the mirror to not be required since Swamp is a pendant. I believe it is possible. Unlikely, but possible.
And we found Bombos necessary medallion for Turtle Rock, which was the one medallion we already have, so that's hinting at a possible early Turtle Rock play, which is not something our runners want now that we know that it's the blue pendant. But in the Hookshot Cave, we find a big 20 to start things off. Let's see what else we find along the way. We have a piece of heart. We've got 5 arrow upgrade. And lastly, we have 300 rupees. Well, there's our Zora money.
Yep, loads of money. It looks like Dr. Bob will be the last to take care of Agahnim.
Yep, recitador now gliding up to Death Mountain as well. Gonna be picking up his, he's got his hook shot, so he'll be getting his Moon Pearl shortly. gamercal already in Dark Death Mountain, checking his check. But it looks like Asazas is now gonna turn in that bottle of Sick Kid. What will the Sick Kid have for us today? He has just a heart container.
Bit of love. And yep, straight from that to the village and Thieves Town. Sensible routing.
Yep. Also, to answer a question in chat, there is in the GBA port of Link to the Past, there is the Palace of the Four Swords, but that is in the port, not in the original game, so we will not be seeing that here.
Yep, and Asazas is actually making the play towards Skull Woods.
Given that we have the Fire Rod, this may not be a bad play, all things considered. I mean, it is a pendant, but it is also the green pendant. So if he full clears this, he can get one more item from Sarhasala.
Yep, and we are lacking the big key, or indeed any small keys, but we don't actually need those to finish the dungeon.
Nope, this is one of the few dungeons where the big key is only required for the chest. And speaking of big keys, we just found the big key to Thieves Town.
So very smart play.
Yeah, that means Thieves Town's just opened up wide here. All he's missing now is the small key for it to get access to the big chest. Well, that and the hammer.
But of course, we never know where the hammer is going to be. We do know that it will be necessary, since Pod is going to be a crystal.
Very, very true. Of course, got to take the long way around getting this guaranteed small key. That chest is always guaranteed to have a vanilla small key, since it is required to exit that room, as we find a compass to Swamp Palace there. So not finding much here in Skull Woods just yet, aside from that big key.
And gamercal going to make the same move up towards Skull Woods or Thieves Town or the village, hitting up a pretty item-dense area no matter where you decide to start off.
But he is indeed making the smart play, heading up to Skull Woods first, since we know he needs that big key. And we got some bombos action from Zaza. Going to clear out all these enemies here to make sure he can have an easier time pulling the statue.
Yep, it can be easy to forget when you're playing this game, but those spells are good for offense, not just for opening up a dungeon.
Had a little bit of trouble with that statue there. It was not playing nice with him, but he gets through and is rewarded with another compass for Desert Palace.
Not going to get much useful info off of that, having already gone through.
Sadly, nope. But he'll be able to work his way through. He is heading straight from Othula. Pendant or not, he knows it's green. He knows it's might be worth something, so he's going to gamble on it.
Now, of course, Asazas has not gone to visit Zora, does not have the blue mail, 9 hearts, fighter sword, tricky fight.
Very true, but he does also have the fire rod, which will make it a little bit easier for him. Plus, he's got half magic to work with that, so he'll have plenty of shots to fire off. Won't be the worst case scenario for him, but let's see what else he finds here. Just triple bombs in this chest. So off to the moth we go.
Yep, gamercal skipping that chest for now, heading straight to the moth. Making more good use of almost.
Dr. Bob now working on his Zaga 1 fight. Recitador running through the spiral cave. He's got his Moon Pearl now. So this seed is starting to open up wide.
Yep, and our bottom race is a good show of what we mean by saying those gambles have to pay off. Dr. Bob went up to Death Mountain early, didn't get a whole lot from it, whereas Recitador held off and was able to route it in with the east side.
Indeed. gamercal now working on his fight with Mothula, using that fire rod. Very well done so far, having very few mad hits there, and takes him out with no trouble. All right, so what does the Moth drop? Just a big 20 and the green pendant.
Yep, a sensible fight to go through, but might not end up paying out.
We'll see eventually once he gets back over there to the Eastern Palace area to turn that in. And now it's Azaza's turn to take on the Moth. Pretty well so far, not taking any damage here. Very nicely done.
That is a tough boss, even in good situations. It's very annoying and has a weird little property. You can hit it and it won't do any damage. Just depends on where the Moth is.
Yeah, if he touches the spikes, it negates all damage, whether it's done by you or the spikes themselves, so you really don't want to do that. But thankfully not an issue. Unfortunately, because they don't have the mirror, we will not be seeing a pedestal check. Let's hope that does not come back to haunt them later.
Of course, if it is a pedestal required seed, that's one pendant out of the way.
Oh, wouldn't that be something if we get a pedestal seed? Aga plus pedestal, I have yet to see that happen. I want to see it. All right, so next up for Azazas is a check of the bumper cave. Since we have the cape, if it's something there, he'll grab that right away. Let's see what's hiding up there. Just a 5-bomb upgrade, so no thank you. All right, so the next stop for Azazas will indeed be the Village of Outcasts. First stop, we got the Sea House. And then we'll probably see the Bombable Hut, the chess game, and then eventually Thieves Town itself. Let's see what we find here. So, heart container right off the bat. Again, more health since he doesn't have any mail upgrades. That will come in handy.
Yeah, we do see a lot of runners when they have the option to take a health upgrade. A lot of them will skip it. It's one more item that they don't want to go through the hassle of grabbing. But there are a lot of them, and you do need a fair amount if you're going to play it safe.
Indeed. We got 300 rupees there from the Bombable Hut, which means he's not only got the Zora money, but we've got the extra money for everything else. So let's check the chess game. We find another 100 rupees. We made our money back and a 10 arrow pack. So nothing there.
Nope, but always nice to come out ahead when you're gambling.
But now it's time for Thieves Town. We're going to be getting everything here except for the big chest, unless we find both the small key and the hammer here in this dungeon, which is highly doubtful. But we do find the red shield, so we got a little extra defense to play with.
And of course, we're now one away from the riot shield.
Hey, we have hammer! Everybody stop! Hammer time. All right, so already Thieves Town proving to be of quite the value so far with 2 good items, including 1 progression item. Let's see what else we find here.
And a pod compass. Not quite as exciting as the hammer.
No. Though, all right, so, and also we should note our tracker is already marked down that all of the other dungeons are crystals, though we still don't know which one is the other 5/6 crystal, so we're still waiting for info on that. But it's only a matter of time. Most likely one of our runners is going to stop by the bomb shop there where Link's house is in the Dark World and see, because it will tell you which ones are 5/6 crystals. As Azaz is now heading into the back end of Thieves Town, we're going to be seeing 1 chest upstairs. We've got the main chest downstairs, and of course, we've got good old Blind himself.
Yep, Blind is one of the bosses that you will want to get out of the way early if you have to, because no matter what, it's always 3 hits per head. That doesn't matter if it's the fighter sword or the butter sword. So
very true.
Not much issue to taking it out early.
True. However, there is a slight advantage to having an upgraded sword, as the Master Sword and up have a slightly longer range, only a few pixels, which can make a difference. Alright, Asazas now hits the blind bomb hole, gets 50 rupees upstairs, and now it's time to go rescue the quote-unquote maiden downstairs.
Meanwhile, Recitador are making their way off towards Mothula, going through the dungeon piece by piece. Dr. Bob over in the Hookshot Cave.
Gotta give it up to both gamercal and Asazas for being, for having a very good efficient routing and being right behind each other, because like it's very close.
Yep, especially 46 minutes in now, being so close together. Still some room for gambles and other missteps that could open up this race, but at this point, this is pretty tight play.
Indeed. Oh, look at that!
Vanilla. Well,
can
not
you
vanilla,
talk?
but
Wow. No, but vanilla enough. Holy cow! Can you ask for a better run there? Azaz is going to immediately be able to check the big chest here in Thieves Town. What will it hide? A small key to Skull Woods. Well, that was worth it.
I love how you can hear the hype in your sentence just descend as it goes on.
I know, right? But still, you gotta admit, knowing that is out of the way now does give them some comfort, because it's like, okay, at least I won't have to go back for this, because that is one of the worst chests to go back for, having to dig all the way back through that dungeon to get to it. And if only find that there, that would have just been heartbreaking. So it's good to get it out of the way. All right, so Azaz is now taking on Blind. Now he's got to be careful, because with only green nail, it's possibly a little trickier. But he's doing good so far. Hasn't taken any hits there. And that red shield coming into play here, blocking a lot of those shots that would have probably killed him by now. And that's leading to a pretty good fight there. Nicely done. And he
nice and easy.
Piece of heart and our next crystal. You commented earlier about how the shields aren't something the runners usually pick up, but are usually care for. But in this case, it actually helped Azazas a lot. He probably would have died to Blind if not for that.
At the very least, would have had to pull out the cape and vanish from Blind's sight. And yes, I use air quotes saying that.
And Azaz is now going to take that hammer and boots, and he's going to go ahead and do himself a peg cave check. Probably may wait on Jeremiah in the purple chest, because that requires the mirror. Otherwise, you have to do a full world tour. It takes a bit of time. But it only finds triple bombs. So what is next for both gamercal and Azazas now that they've finished up their runs here? Azazas indeed going to skip Jeremiah for now, though he may come back for it. What he's doing first is he's going to go ahead and pay a visit to good old Alec Baldwin here and see what he finds in the digging game.
Yeah, from here, after this, very likely to head over to Stumpy, and then onto what has historically been called the Hype Cave. I prefer to call it Dagobah.
I call it the Prince Cave because this art is formerly known as Hype Cave, but I like yours as well.
Of course, all that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's see what we find here. Oh, just a map, but what's it to? Map to deserts. Well, we already got that one, so we already know that's a crystal.
There's a reason that map was buried. Nobody needs it.
Nice. Oh, and Azaz is now going to head back up. He's going to go pick up Jeremiah here and take the Froggy on a bit of a world tour.
In fact, Azaz can get as far as the Catfish going on this tour, so that's plenty of spots to go visit. Can't dip into Pod, though, because you can't have Jeremiah and Kiki. You can only have one follower at a time.
Indeed, but he does find a key. He actually finds a pod key at Old Stumpy, so good timing for your comment there. Now it's time to head off to the Prince Cave. But first, he's going to stop in and find out which of our crystals is the 5-6 crystals. We know one of them is Misery Mire, and the other one is Pod. Pod is our final 5-6 crystal. So with that, we now know that Tower of Hera is also a crystal, but only the regular kind. So all of our crit pendants and crystals are now confirmed.
Yep, very good to get that info out of the way. Under an hour mark, we have it all.
Yeah, there's the map to Tower of Hera. A little late for that. We now know what that is. Silvers!
Silvers!
Big 20, big key to Eastern, and a small key to Pod. You know what? I'm going to call that a pretty good cave.
Yep, I would say that's a pretty good pull.
And now the chat is now that we know the location of the crystals and pendants, the chat is questioning what our pedestal items is. The big one being the bow. The bow is the one item we could see on the pedestal since it is not required for either of its necessary dungeons. So this could be interesting, but let's see what Asazas gets from the smiths now. And gamercal doing the exact same thing. He's got his swordsmith here. What do the dwarves give us this time? Oh, looks like they're a locksmith here. We've got a Turtle Rock small key. All right, looks like Asazas is going to take that cue from the hammer. He's heading up to Tower of Hera. Now, bear in mind, he's going to be short one item because he does not have the basement key, but given how trolly that location is anyway and how easy it is to get back to if you have to do it anyway, I don't think he's too worried about that.
No, I don't think we're far enough in the run for Asazas to need a coffee break. Even though that Dead Rock is offering one right now.
This is why I called them the unofficial mascots, folks, right there.
It looks like gamercal is going to do another fake flip. This time, having the Moon Pearl means they can check the Waterfall Fairy as well.
Very true, though that is a sequence break, so I wonder if it's going to come up with anything, given how much we've already found. Be surprising if we find much. Though we will also be able to check the Hobo as well. We'll see if that comes into play. Ooh, we're going to get an early Ether tablet check here from Asazas. When we're able to pick it up, we can see what it is. And... oh, it's a Misery Mire small key. Given that we don't really need those, he may not be picking that up.
Yeah, Misery Mire kind of overloaded with keys. Kind of get too many almost.
Yeah. And from the Hobo, we get 50 rupees, and we find a map downstairs, but Asazas says, no, I'm pretty sure I know where everything is. I don't need that. Meanwhile, we also find, ooh, Ether Medallion.
Ether.
We don't know what Misery Mire needs yet, so that could come into play.
I think this is the time where we tell the game to no, Ether was supposed to be at the tablet that he just checked. He put it in the wrong spot. It's right over there.
All right, Zaza's now heading upstairs. gamercal setting up the water walking glitch here into the Waterfall of Wishing. What will he find in there? He's going to get a piece of heart and big 20. We also found another Pod small key in Tower of Hera. So Pod is starting to look a little bit better here. We just tried one big key.
Yeah, but Azaza's going to bomb jump over to the big chest
Mirror!
and find the mirror. So not a mirrorless seed, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what side of the screen you're on.
Now gamercal picking up the blue mail there from Zorus. I think that's worth 500 rupees. Recitador checking Catfish now. We haven't seen this yet. As Zazos heads into Trolldorm. Ooh, and we got another small key for Recitador for Tower of... Oh, there's the Tower of Hera basement key. All right, with only Fighter Sword, Zaza is going to rely on Hammer Strats to try to take out this Moldorm. Got to be very careful, though. This is a tricky fight. We call him Trolldorm for a reason, folks.
Yep, Moldorm does not like company and will let you know it. Especially since that company tends to slash it in the tail. Can't blame him.
Oh, cutting it close there. Oh, that was close.
Ooh.
Now he's really angry. This could get interesting.
gamercal making a substantial sequence break and going into Ice Palace.
Ooh, that's a bit of a gamble there. We'll see if that plays out. Zazas does finish off Moldorm, though. Gets,
the flippers!
Well, he didn't need a fake flipper. All he had to do is go to Tower of Hera.
Okay, so maybe Ice isn't a huge sequence break after all.
Indeed. In fact, I'm willing to bet that's where Zazas is going to be going soon. Oh, but before that, he's going to make a play on Spike Cave.
Yep, as a friend often says, there's no good time to do Spike Cave, there's only a less bad time, and this is the least bad time that you can get.
Pretty much. Let's see if it pays off for him, though. Thankfully, he's got the half magic, so he can get through here without too much trouble. And what's he find for his troubles? Just triple bombs.
Meanwhile, gamercal not finding anything yet in Ice Palace, but there's still plenty of it to go. Just has to clear out this bomb jump first.
The infamous Ice Palace bomb jump, one of the most notorious jumps in the game. Even if you're playing this vanilla, if you're going to speedrun this game, this is that one bomb jump you want to master. And already gamercal having some struggles with it. But he gets in on the second shot there. Nicely done.
Yep, still probably not the hardest of the bomb jumps that you have to do. That would probably go to the hammer jump, but certainly one of the more effective ones. Especially when you don't have King of Samaria coming in.
Indeed, Azaza's now heading into Ice Palace, as I suspected. So that's going to be his next play, where, again, these two very close to each other, though. I think the advantage goes to Azaza's, given that he's got one dungeon ahead of gamercal.
And Recitador gonna head down into the Hera basement and take a short coffee break.
Actually, looks like he's doing it the hard way. He's going to do a little dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge as we find another Misery Mire key in the big chest of Ice Palace.
We did also find the Cane of Berna over in Ice Palace.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Cane of Berna.
Not something our runners are going to need, but you can find ways to make it useful. As Dr. Bob takes on Blind.
Should be an interesting fight there. Let's see what Recitador finds here in the Hera basement. Oh, it's Ice Rod! Ho ho! Now, here's the question. Is that actually required, since Turtle Rock is a pendant dungeon? That may not be needed.
Now, all I said, Recitador does have the intel to know that Turtle Rock is a pendant, so they're not going to get too tricked by the presence of that.
Most likely not. Still, interesting information there. All right, so let's see what else gamercal finds here in Ice Palace and what asazas will be finding shortly afterwards, because they're both right behind each other. Again, it's been back and forth with those two. 5-bomb upgrade there for gamercal. The hunt is still on.
A small key to GT. Not really necessary past the first one.
Well, unless of course we don't find the big key, then they may come into play.
Well, for our runners, let's hope it's not.
Very true. Let's see what gamercal finds here. Oh, there's the bow!
There's the bow! So much for a Tridex bow.
Yep. And that pet seed looking pretty weak right about now. I think the only item we could still possibly find there is maybe the cane of Samaria. No, we can't even find that because we need that for Turtle Rock. So yeah, pedestal seed looking kind of dead.
What about the flute?
Flute is a possibility. That is true. And of course, the GT big key is always possible. We don't know yet. Depends on if we ever check it in time.
We also don't know what Mire requires, so there is the Quake option.
That's a slim possibility.
And there's always the most important item, the bug net.
Essential item there. All right, gamercal now taking on Cold Stare. Gonna rely on Fire Rod strats since we're still only at Fighter Sword. That's another thing we haven't found yet. We haven't found any sword upgrades yet. That could change things pretty quickly as we find 50 rupees from Cold Stare and our next crystal. So that's 3 for gamercal and soon to be 4 for asazas.
A recitador with the Heraclear now has the flippers, going to do all of those checks and going to do them legit.
Indeed, and gamercal with the bow and the big key, I think he's going for Eastern.
Seems like a smart play to do next, especially having that green pendant. Easy to go visit Sahasrahla on way.
Makes sense to me. Oh, and I think Azaza just mirrored back to the entrance of Ice Palace. Ooh, that's a bit of a goof. I don't know why he must have had a reason for that, but let's see. We got a compass for Thieves Town, so that is complete garbage there from the old man.
Yeah, funny enough, we were saying earlier, we had Asazas and gamercal basically neck and neck, except that Asazas had a 1 dungeon advantage. That mirroring just kind of erased a lot of it.
Just a tad. Nonetheless, gamercal is heading back into Eastern Palace now. He's going to check the big chest and, of course, head on to the Armos Knights to see what they drop. And with those silvers that they got earlier, these Armos Knights are going to be a joke.
Yep, Recitador finally going to go grab their blue mail. Azazas still doesn't have one.
Yeah, he has not been to Zora yet, though. With those flippers now in play, he'll probably check that not long afterwards. That might be his next stop after Ice Palace. And we get a piece of heart from the big chest there in Eastern. That does give him a health refill and an extra heart, so that's going to help him a little bit going into the Armos Knights, though I doubt he really needed it.
Yep, after all, Armos Knights is the first boss of the game. You're only expected to have, what, 4 hearts going in?
4 or 5 tops, depending on whether or not you get a lot of the pieces of heart, but yeah, not much.
Yeah. But of course, something like Cold Stare, you're expected to have probably closer to 10. Probably Blue Mail. Probably a better sword. Definitely a better
Well, you
sword.
actually get Blue Mail in Ice Palace, if I recall correctly, so yeah. Very nicely done. Gets a 5-bomb upgrade from the Armos Knights and Crystal number 4 for gamercal.
And speaking of sword upgrades, guess what Cave 45 had?
Ah, the Mirror Cave, dropping the Master Sword. Nice find for Recitador. That's going to help him later on. So what is next for gamercal? For obviously, he's got to go to Hera at some point, since we know that's an important play. But from there, we still are missing a few items. We still don't have the flute.
Yep. I think they'll make a pod play right after Eastern, but no big key means they can't complete it yet. And we're about to see what's on Bombos, though. Recitador can complete that.
Yep, he's going to find just a 5-arrow upgrade. Not much what he was hoping for there. And Dr. Bob going to go ahead and pick up the purple chest.
Yep, it's about to be lunchtime for our average-looking man.
gamercal paying a visit. Everyone's favorite little extortionist, Kiki the Monkey. 110 rupees down the drain, if not more. Nice fight there for Asazas. Had lost a little bit of health, but still pulled it out. Gets his crystal. That's crystal number 4 for him.
And this is a swamp play for Recitador.
Ooh. This could be interesting here. gamercal can't make that play since he did not get the flippers. That was up in Tower of Hera. So he needs to make that play at some point. But he is going to start his pod play and see what he gets there. Maybe if he gets the flute, that'll tempt him to go up there.
Yep, just a boomerang in the lunchbox.
Not what you're hoping for there.
Yep. Now, Recitador should know that Swamp is a pendant, but they have everything they need to clear it. Nobody has the big key, but you don't need the big key.
Yeah, also to respond to Darwinador in chat, that is dungeon number 5, yes, but only crystal number 4. Bear in mind, that 5th dungeon is Skull Woods, which was a pendant, so I made my call correctly, thank you. I'll admit when I'm wrong, but I will defend myself if I'm correct. gamercal now hunting down the harmless hellway here in pod.
Well, that's one spot where I'm going to have to correct you. The Harmless Hellway is later on in the dungeon. That's just a Hellway.
Ah, fair point. And 5-arrow upgrade there. Not much. Asazas finally making the Zora play. And ooh, code red there for gamercal. Hey, an extra potion? I will take that.
Getting the bonk back up to the front part, finding a Mire key. Don't really need it.
And he's going to set his bombs up. He is indeed going to check that Central Island chest. Don't want to miss out on that. I've seen that pay off quite a few times now. I definitely don't want to forget it.
Yep, that will spend a key, and this is pod. Key management is important.
Very important indeed. We got a map to Skull Woods there for Recitador, not what he was hoping for. And oh, the single arrow for gamercal. All right, Dr. Bob now taking care of the basement, and the Hera is going to pick up his ice rod here pretty soon.
As Recitador takes care of the left side of Swamp. Not much fun to have to go through, but there are a couple chests. You never know.
Yeah, left side Swamp has proven to be quite the troll sometimes, so you don't want to be careful. Thankfully, it does look like he got that key from the skull there, so he should be good to go.
Yep, if you come into Swamp with the hook shot, you can get a key prematurely, and it can become very easy to flood that one and force yourself to do the dungeon all over again.
Not just redo the dungeon, but you have to exit the dungeon, move one screen over, come back, and then redo everything, which is just a bit of torture there. Now gamercal going to head into the back end of pod here as Asazas is going to follow suit. Now he's got one extra key over gamercal, so that could come into play.
Picking up Sahasrar's compass first.
Here, let's see what else gamercal finds. We find another... Oh, vanilla small key. Never mind. Vanilla. Oh, there goes that advantage that Zazas had, and he also finds powder. So that is now in play. And one thing that Zazas does still have is that gamercal never found the lamp. So he's going to have to do this blind. Ooh, oh, vanilla big key. Pod is just opened up wide.
Pod is being an ice cream shop with all this vanilla.
I've never heard it that way before, but I like that term.
I've never said it before.
And it looks like gamercal is going to skip out on the dark maze for now, which could come back to haunt him if there's anything in there. Yazaza is going to do Eastern, but when he does pod eventually, he may end up doing that. And that could have something that gamercal skipped.
Yep, and with what'll ultimately be 5 keys, plus the bow and hammer to skip the front door, you don't even need to hammer jump anymore. You got enough to do it. And there's the flute. And the net.
Oh!
Run opened up and run validated.
Indeed. Some very nice finds there for Recitador. Finds another small key to Ice Palace. Not necessary, but nice to have there.
I will say, gamercal making good work of pod without a lamp.
Using that fire rod to its advantage to light those torches, help him get through without having to see. Not an easy thing to do, let me tell you. And Azaza is going to make quick work, just completely obliterates those Armos Knights and gets his 5th crystal. And speaking of crystals now, gamercal working on the Helmassar King, going to be getting his 5th crystal here.
Yep, Recitador taking on Argus, only going to get a pendant from doing this.
Very true, but you never know what these bosses will drop. Sometimes a pendant boss will hold a progression item, so I don't blame him for making this call. Could help. gamercal, very quick work using the silver arrows to finish off Helmassar King. What does he drop? Just a big 20, but he gets crystal number 5.
Recitador are going to be very pleased that they picked up the sword before coming in. You can do this fight with just a fighter's sword, but you really don't want to.
Yeah, it'd been better if he had the bow. He could use silver, one single silver shot. Gets a big 20, unfortunately, and the red pendant. Okay, I got a comment. Arboretic in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is crystal number 5. Props to anyone who actually gets
I haven't been reminded of that song in so long.
I know. Props to anyone who knows that, who gets that reference.
Well, Recitador is about to get the bow. They're making the route over to ice. Dr. Bob gonna hit the pod first.
That's actually going to be a mistake on Dr. Bob's part, since he also does not have the bow. He will not be able to full clear this dungeon, which, considering you could do it in one go, as we've seen, could be a problem. It looks like gamercal is going to go back and check that back room there in pod. He's going to have to hammer yump since he does not have any more keys. But we'll see if he finds anything good over there.
Yep, this is a very precise, very tricky maneuver. That gamercal gets first try.
Nicely done. Not an easy jump to do. Once again, he's going to have to either go into the dark or find those or light one of those torches if he knows where to go. He's going to get his first chest, and we get a small key to GT to start things off there in the back. And I did not see what he picked up there.
Nope, we'll have to wait until a menu check later on. It's always possible for it to be something important that just doesn't appear in a dark room. So, gamercal is going to want to check the map pretty soon just to figure it out.
That's true. So where do we go next is the big question. gamercal gonna go ahead and take that powder he got in pod and put it to use, heading over to the magic bat. What will be in the bat cave here today, Robin?
And it's looking like just a big 20.
Just a big 20. Holy rupees, Batman. So once again, Tower of Hera is the big play for gamercal that he needs to make. He also still needs to go over to the witch and drop off that mushroom to get his lamb. He still hasn't found that. But from there, it's activate he's got to get that flute from Swamp to get to Misery Mire.
Yep, all of our runners other than Recitador have to go find it, and Recitador still needs to go activate it.
And then that brings the big question, where is the big red cane? Given what we found, it's likely that if it's not on pedestal, then it's in Vanilla Mire.
And we know it's not on pedestal thanks to Turtle Rock having a pendant, so that narrows it down kind of tight. Anyway, with our runners kind of overlapping each other a little bit at the moment, just like to remind our folks, if you're enjoying the runs, enjoying what you're seeing from these runners, always nice to give them a follow, check them out outside of the tournament.
Indeed, make sure you give all of our runners here, gamercal, asazas, recitador, and DoctorBobtastic a follow on Twitch. They're running hard for your entertainment, folks, so show them some love.
Ah, it was just a bomb cap in the dark maze.
Ah, just a bomb upgrade. I had a feeling it was something like that since we didn't see anything go up, and I actually did double check gamercal's menu, and I didn't see anything changed for him, so I had a feeling that's what it was. Ooh, here's something we haven't checked yet. I think gamercal's heading over to the graveyard. Nope, never mind. He's skipping that. But we haven't seen Graveyard Cave. That could be a check. Ooh, nice water walking trick there for gamercal.
That's definitely something we haven't seen. But no mirror means no convenient witch check on the way.
Yeah.
Still no lamp.
Chat asking how he did the water walk. If I recall correctly, the way to do the water walking outside of the Waterfall of Wishing is if you is required the boots. I've seen it done a couple of times, mainly for the Zora Ledge, but it's not an easy trick to do.
Yep, that's actually one I have personally never seen done, and haven't even heard of it in researching glitches. So that's an unusual move, but worked out to gamercal's advantage. We're able to use it just a little bit.
Yeah, it's not one you see very often. I've seen it done once in, I believe it was in an open mode race, where someone used it to get to the Zora Ledge early, and it actually paid off for him too. So it worked out rather well. So saves you a little bit of time, and it is still considered a minor glitch, so it is still legal within the rules of this tournament. And Actabook are actually explaining here, you just dash bump near the southwest hole and then drop south into the water. So that's how you pull it off. All right, Dr. Bob now doing his Zora run over here. Recitador working on Cold Stare as Asazas is heading in to get his 6th crystal, courtesy of the Helmassar King.
Yep, gamercal's gonna get their 6th off of Hera. And from there, it's all comes down to who gets to Mire first.
Yep. So they both need to get to Swamp to get that flute, and then from there head to Mire. Recitador actually might be the first one to head there, considering he has the means to do so. Actually, to answer your question, chat, Bastos, no, gamercal can't dip into Turtle Rock. He does not have the cane of Samaria. He can open it up, perhaps, but he would not be able to go into it without that cane.
Yep, that cane, plus the Ganon's Tower Big Key, pretty much locking off the last chunks of this game.
Actually, no. Really, the only thing that's holding him back is the cane of Samaria, because that'll have everything else. And then, of course, the GT Big Key, which could be in Janon's Tower itself. You never know. We will see.
Yep, gamercal lining up a little bit of a coffee break, about to get the ice rod. While Recitador lets loose the goose.
Yep. And if you're going to do it, you got to do it right, my friend. The goose is loose. Answer a question, chat. No, nobody has checked Pedestal yet. That has been ignored since the only time they were able to go to Skull Woods was before they had the mirror. gamercal getting his ice rod there from the basement. As Asazas, where is he going? Is he going? He's not going to Swamp. Oh, he's gonna check Pyramid Fairy.
Doesn't have the Mire crystal yet, and just realized it. Still one step to go before they can make that check.
Yep, but he's going to make the right call here. He's heading to Swamp, which we know the flute is hiding at, so this will be the right play. Actually, no. He's going to Bombos first, but I have a feeling he will be going to Swamp after this.
Recitador headed around the north side of the Dark World, possibly going to go visit the Graveyard Ledge. That is one spot that we haven't seen yet. Dr. Bob getting a little stuck on that bomb jump, basically out of health. So
yeah, not a good spot. So he's gonna have to go the long way around, unfortunately. All right, Recitador now finally taking the purple chest over, and he's gonna check the graveyard cave. as gamercal finally gets his mirror, courtesy of Tower of Hera. All right, let's see what's in the graveyard cave here for Recitador. Just 10 arrows, not much there. So Mire is still likely the big play.
All that said, Recitador hasn't gone to Eastern, hasn't gone to Pod. Does have the bow now, so can take care of both of them in one fell swoop. Also, hasn't done Thieves Town.
Yeah, he's a bit behind here, but then again, he's still ahead of his opponent, Dr. Bob, so bit of a play there. And yeah, at this point, the only thing that could possibly be on pedestal is the GT big key, which we still have not confirmed yet. But Recitador now making the play. I did not see what was on Mire there.
It looked like it might have been Bombos, but I'm not positive.
I'll double check the restream here. It was indeed Bombos. Oh, and Tempered Sword!
That's going to be some good slashing.
Yep, that's going to make Mire a lot easier for him. Not to mention already having silver arrows, Vitreous will be a complete joke for him. Let's see what's in the checkerboard cave.
There it is!
Someone call Phantom Ryu, because that's got to be Kane! Ladies and gentlemen, Team Hell No complete.
So at this point, we are a Ganon's Tower big key away from complete go mode.
Indeed. And that's perfect time from Recitador. He means he can full clear Mire in one shot, though he's still probably going to dig because he's still missing items, most specifically, as we mentioned, that GT big key. If it's here in Mire, that's game. All right, looks like Asazas is heading downstairs. He's going to be getting his flute pretty shortly here. Act, to answer your question, the pod Vicky was actually in vanilla. It was in pod. Found it by complete accident there. Worked out really well for both gamercal and Asazas.
Yep, now we are saying that once Recitador finds the GT big key, it is full go mode, except Recitador does not know that. They haven't gone into pod, they don't have the pod big key.
That's true, so it'll be no mode basically, but he's going to start digging through and let's see what he finds. And there's a piece of heart to start things off, so he's still searching.
And the mushroom, for those curious, was in Blind's house, and it was necessary because that got us the lamp, which gamercal still doesn't have. Still hasn't made that witch visit.
No kidding. Oh, missed the torch there for Recitador, but he's going to get around, and now for the most boring cutscene in the game. All right, so all eyes are on Recitador right now on what he finds here in Mire. Big 20 from the vanilla big key chest, still missing a few. Trackers, we should mark Recitador does have Canis Samaria. We might want to add that. All right, Recitador now continuing his search here in Misery Mire. What will he find? We've got small key to Desert Palace. There's 2 more spots opened up.
And fortunately, those are two spots that are very close by. Just got to mirror on over, and there's Desert.
Yeah, if there's ever a good chance to get that, that would be it, to check it right away. And we find a small key to... Oh, well, there's an unnecessary pod key, though I'm sure Recitador will appreciate that since he hasn't been there yet. What else will we find? It's just a single rupee. Oh, this is getting scary. This means one of 2 things. Either Vitreous has it, or we might be dipping into Turtle Rock, or hoping that the GT Big Key is inside Ganon's Tower. Worst case scenario for these guys, of course, is once again, GT Big Key on pedestal.
Yep, and Dr. Bob making more runs through ice. Having some trouble with that dungeon, but that can be an obnoxious one. Like using the words and obnoxious right next to each other. And for Chad asking, yes, Recitador full cleared swamp outside of the big chest. We actually haven't seen the Swamp Palace Big Key at all yet. Now, all rise for our national anthem.
And now the goose is loose for Azazas now as Recitador heading downstairs into the base of the Mire on his way to Vitreous.
Looks like Dr. Bob is ready to take on Cold Stare.
Yeah, looking that way. So we're getting close to the end here, folks, but we still have that one elusive key to find. Nobody knows where it is. That's going to be the critical moment for all of our runners. Where is that key hiding? And also, both of our top runners need to check both the Mirror Cave and, of course, the Checkerboard Cave to make sure they can get that Tempered Sword. As Recitador now using those silver arrows on Vitreous, no problem whatsoever. 1 shot for each of the small eyeballs, 2 shots with the big one, and down goes the eyeballs. What does he drop? That's the big 20! So, ladies and gentlemen, that leaves us with 3 possibilities. Turtle Rock, Ganon's Tower, or Pedestal. Which one holds the big key?
There is always the chance of Pyramid Fairy, but that's just 2 locations. The granted Pedestal is only 1, but it's a brutal one, and we find it funnier.
Also, there is still Desert, though it looks like Recitador are not going to check it. That might be a mistake. So now the question is, where is that key?
Honestly, I would put my money on Ganon's Tower itself. That is 22 locations, if I'm remembering the count correctly. Turtle Rock is 14, I think. So
like
by sheer numbers, Ganon's Tower is a better possibility.
Yeah, that is very true, though. Part of you wants to hope not have to dig Ganon's Tower, since obviously that is a real pain in the butt to do. You kind of want to skip that if you can help it. But it's going to probably be a while before we see that, since a lot of our runners have a lot of other places left to check. Gamercal going to finish up Swamp. Asazas is already working on purple chest. Probably going to stop by Mire Cave and get his master sword. Ooh.
Yep, we're going to have a moment where there's a lot of overlap. Our runners are really hoping to find those important last few items, but unfortunately we already know they're not going to see them.
Nice use of the flute there for Asazas. After getting the Mire Cave, flutes right over to drop off the purple chest. And then we'll probably be heading off to Misery Mire and getting his tempered sword along the way if he's smart.
And getting the red cane, for that matter.
Very true.
Really, if you've got the mirror, there's no reason not to do the surrounding item locations before diving into Mire.
If he's smart, he will do that since he doesn't have the cane, and he'll be happy he does. He's going into the Mire shack to get his tempered sword.
And Dr. Bob about to go take on Helmasaur King and clear out Pod.
Asazas accidentally mirrored in the wrong spot there. Ended up not getting that item, or ended up rewarping back, but he gets through, and he is rewarded with the red cane.
Showing us a proper solution for that little puzzle. A lot of runners, since they have the mirror out already, just erase a bunch of blocks.
Ooh, nice use of the silver arrows along with the Master Sword Spin Slash to do a quick fight there for Argus. Down goes the red pendant for gamercal.
Yep, and now Recitador is going to plow through a pod. Going to have all of the keys by the end of this, so doesn't even need to pull any tricks. Can just walk through the front door, walk through the dark maze door, no sweat.
Oh, he doesn't know that yet, so he might still pull a few tricks out of his sleeve. All right, gamercal now activating his flute at last. As Asazas makes his start into Misery Mire, Dr. Bob taking on Helmasaur King. Gonna try to go for the quick kill. Oh, he walks right into it.
Now Chad is pointing out another reason that the GTB key might not be in Turtle Rock. We have only seen 2 of the small keys so far.
It's a very good point.
The logic does expect you to have at least a few small keys before going in too deep. It does require you to, well, it expects you to have enough to get to the boss, so in this case, all 4. Runners can skip one, but then you're leaving behind a chest. So the logic doesn't expect you to do that.
No, there is always the possibility that we could see a vanilla Turtle Rock key, considering we haven't found that many to begin with.
Very true.
Though honestly, we still have those 2 chests in desert. Hopefully, if Asazas is smart, he warps back over and grabs those, because those might have one of those missing keys. But then again, considering he's already going to be heading to Ganon's Tower after that, that might be he might not even think about it and go straight there.
The interesting part will be if gamercal takes care of Mire, including the basement, without that lamp. Might end up doing the entire seed lampless.
And then he's going to find that lamp in the mushroom when he has to go digging around other spots. He's going to kick himself for it.
Well, if you're at the point that you're doing Mire basement in the dark, you probably have figured out that you missed the lamp somewhere. And you kind of don't care. You're just like, screw it, let's go.
Fair point. To answer a question in chat, DT, the lamp was at the mushroom spot, and mushroom was in Blind's hut, so they should have gotten that lamp pretty early. All right, so it looks like Dr. Bob is crystal-wise taking a bit of a lead, though he is still missing that flute out of swamp, so he will have to run into that next.
Yep, and Thieves Town, not exactly a long dungeon to have to deal with, so Recitador will probably make up a little bit of time with that.
Very, very true.
And we'll make up a little bit more time not having to set up the hammer yump. All 6 keys means you can just waltz right in. Dr. Bob taking a check up Death Mountain. I don't know if he's checked the Hera basement, so I might be assuming something's there.
No, he's got it. He's already been there. He's already got the ice rod.
Ah, yes. So
Spike cave.
This must be a spike cave play.
All right, Azaza's finishing up Misery Mire. He now has all 7 crystals. So most likely his next play is going to be Ganon's Tower. If that is the case, then I think we might have time. We might have a chance for our big key guessing game to come into play, ladies and gentlemen. There are exactly 22 possible locations inside of Ganon's Tower where the big key could possibly be hiding. Get your guesses in. Well, actually, hold that thought. Let's wait on that. Because he's making the desert play. Let's see if he gets it.
Of course, you're all welcome to get your guesses in now regardless, but if the key is in here, then we'll just call it a dry run.
I just call it 0, so yeah. Let's see if Recitador made a grave mistake skipping this particular area. First chest we see.
It's a small key to GT. Right place, wrong size.
Exactly. And the other chest, just 50 rupees. Okay, so the guesses still count. Get your guesses in between 0 and 22. 0 meaning it is not in Ganon's Tower. If it is anywhere else, give it a 0. But if it's not, if you think it is in Ganon's Tower, then give us a number between 1 and 22 where you think it might be hiding. And while he's doing that, I will be right back.
And while he's doing that, and Shades is taking a step away, we got Recitador taking on the Helmsaur King. gamercal doing that dark Mire basement. Very tricky maneuvering. It's a dark room that you very rarely see. Dr. Bob visiting the bat. Recitador just offside on those arrow shots, but does manage to knock out the king.
All right, I'm back. All right, so the question for Asazas is he going to go straight to GT or is he going into Turtle Rock since he's going to be right here anyway?
It's going straight into GT.
Don't blame him for this call. I think, like you said earlier, more possible locations, better chance. But I will say, considering how often I've seen the GT Big Key in Turtle Rock, with it being a pendant, I'm not sure about this one.
Yep, desert has been checked and full cleared. It's not there. Not a lot of late locations in our other dungeons to be worried about either.
Indeed, but nonetheless, Asazas is now making his play into Ganon's tower. Let's start the count, folks. Let's see what we find.
I will point out though that Swamp Palace and Skull Woods, we haven't seen all the large keys for those. So see, if we see a big key, it's not necessarily the one they needed.
No, but we did find a small key to Turtle Rock, which is not exactly what Asazas wants to find early on. So he's going to go right side first, skipping tile room, of course, because you always want to try to save that blast if you can help it. We'll say if he finds it here, we could be looking at a sub 2 hour seed here.
And yes, even though the math says the best odds are here, it's not a guarantee. Ganon's tower key, big key, could be in a bunch of spots, like pedestal.
All right, so far not yet. We did get Ride Shield though, but that's 6 chests down, still no sign of it. So with that, it's on the left side. Let's see what's on Bob's torch today.
Just big 20.
All right, so that's 7.
Gamercal.
Oh,
are you going where we think you're going?
We got a pedestal check. And just a bomb upgrade. Wap, 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 wow. So that eliminates that possibility. Number 8, piece of heart. Number 9, big 20. Number 10, 5 bomb upgrade. Number 11, triple bombs. All right, number 12 in the firebar room, piece of heart. Still on the hunt.
Yep, more than halfway done. Still no luck. This key wants its privacy. Does not want to be found.
It's the trolliest item in the Keysanity as Gamercal now making the pyramid parry check. Gamercal's trying to eliminate all likely possibilities before going into GT. All right, coming up on number 13 here in the Fire Snake room. Red Veil. Oh, that's really not bad.
That's the sort of item that, if it weren't for this trolly little big key, our runners wouldn't have nabbed, so nice to have. Nice advantage.
All right, on to the rando room now. 14, triple bombs. 15, big 20. 16, map to GT. That's useless. And 16, another big 20. So we're still searching. It looks like we didn't find anything in the Ferrotherapy as well, so we're still on the hunt. All right, everybody say hi to Bob. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. Bye, Bob.
Well, not quite. Bob just changes places.
Hi, Bob, too. Bye, Bob, too. As Azazas takes on the Armos Knights refight.
Yep, Ice Armos here, 17 also coming up Bupka's there with another big 20 if I saw that correctly. So we're still waiting. We got 4 more locations left. If it's not in these 3 chests or in Tile Room, then we are going to Turtle Rock. All right, number 18.
Quake.
Number 19. Small key to
T-Rock small key.
All that's left is Tile Room.
And gamercal about to head into Ganon's Tower. About to get just as trolled.
Yep. That gives the only advantage back to Azazas, because if it is in Turtle Rock, gamercal had gone there first, that would have been interesting. But instead, it looks like they're both going to get equally trolled here. Let's see if this wait is worth it. Now, what could change this race real quick is if the Tile Room does have it and gamercal does it first, but he is not going to, so no matter what, it's advantage Azazas now. All right, here it is.
No, we're going to T-Rock.
It is in Turtle Rock once again. This seems to be a pattern I have. So if you get 0, you won.
Now again, it is very likely that it is indeed in Turtle Rock, but we have not seen the Swamp Palace big chest. We have not seen the Skull Woods big chest. We may have to double dip one of those.
It depends on if we find the big key in here. Because we do not have either of those big keys, so we'd have to find them in Turtle Rock first. Which actually means we have a very serious chain of pain going on here. Having to search, get the 2 keys out of Ganon's Tower, go into Turtle Rock, full clear it, get those big keys, then search them to find it. So we may be looking at a required double dip into GT here, if not more, just to find it. Let's see if we go as Azazas begins his play into Turtle Rock. Answer your question in chat. Curse one, no. Pedestal has already been checked. Not gonna happen. Is that it?
Swamp!
No!
2 big keys left. The Harris small key, by the way, was on Catfish and opens up the Ice Rod. So if something important is on Trinex, Azazas is in a little bit of a spot.
That's a very good point. That could be the game changer. If he has to go to Trinex to even get to where that big key could be hiding, that could cost him the time gamercal needs to take this race. Let's see if he gets lucky here. Butter sword. I can't believe it's not butter. And let's see, gamercal going the long way around to get back around to go to the left side. He is wasting time and he doesn't even know it yet.
Yep, following what I believe is the vanilla route through the dungeon. Or at least close to it.
Now, good news for Azazas is he has all the keys. So he will be able to full clear this dungeon, including checking the vanilla big key spot. Oh,
that's
wait a minute.
Key to Skull Woods!
Teased again! Oh my lord, is this seed gonna troll us any further? My god!
We're seeing all sorts of debated in chat. I can't blame you. This is the ultimate debate.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my lord. You know, there's teasing and then there's just full-on trolling, and that is what we are seeing here. We got a bunny beam there from Asazas as he heads over to the vanilla big key spot. Oh. All right, vanilla big key spot has a big 20. Not what he was hoping for there.
That will be the last of the big key trolls. We do have every single big key, so when we see one, let's go.
You folks like trolling seeds. Well, I think you can't get much more trolly than this. As Zaz is now going to be making his way over to the Mimic Cave.
Yep, Recitador starting to make their run through Ganon's Tower. Not going to be pleased with what they find. Nobody's going to be pleased with what they find in Ganon's Tower.
No, they are not. But at least now, when they go through Turtle Rock, they're going to be armed to the teeth. They're going to have red mail. They're going to have butter sword. They're going to have silver arrows. They're going to have riot shield. You could not ask for a better setup. All right, what do we find here in the Mimic Cave? Just 300 rupees. All right, time for the big chest here.
There it is! There it is!
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you would check your watches, phones, or whatever timekeeping devices you have on you, you will see the time currently displayed shows that it is indeed Gomo time.
So now gamercal has to get through T-Rock as quick as possible to get that big key, get back to GT. Man.
Unfortunately, Azazas wasted a little time because he accidentally saved and quit to Link's house instead of going back to Death Mountain. Now, if anyone's going to, why didn't he mirror in Turtle Rock? Because if he did, it would have taken him right to the entrance from the Mimic Cave. So therefore, it would not have worked. He had to do this the hard way.
Yep, that big key had to be at the very first chest after resetting where you would mirror to, just for that little extra troll.
Yep. Couldn't do it before then. You guys say it wasn't trolly enough. I think it was just trolly enough to make you have to go that extra step. All right, so from here on out for Azazas, it's all about execution. As long as he doesn't get trolled by Trolldorm 2 or Ganon, this fight, this race is as good as his. He will be number one.
Yep, and that will put him in the tiebreaker mega match happening next week to decide who goes into the final bracket stage. The winner of the top race gets that honor. The winner of the bottom race, well, they end with a positive record, and that's certainly something to be proud about.
Once again, that riot shield proving its usefulness, being able to block those fireballs from the mimics and the Bimo statues, is to help him get through much faster without losing too much health as he moves on forward through the gauntlet.
And that's the second big key troll for gamercal. Just about there to the big chest. As Recitador makes the T-Rock move quite begrudgingly, I would assume.
Oh, absolutely. But he's got quite the lead on Dr. Bob, so I think Recitador is going to be the one to take this race in the end. Especially since you know that Dr. Bob's going to make a lot of the same decisions that the rest of our runners have made and go to GT first and not Turtle Rock. So you know he's going to be wasting a lot of time doing that.
Afraid so. Azaz's almost getting a 1 cycle.
Almost got the 0 cycle there. Couldn't quite get it, but he gets the 2 cycle there. Nicely done.
Always love that Wizrobe strat. gamercal dipping into the Mimic Cave, losing a little bit more time. But that is time that Azaz spent, so...
Yeah, and to be fair, he doesn't know. As Recitador picks up his butter sword now, and Azaza's now finishing up, getting through the torch rooms. On his way up the stairs, he is almost done. And there it is, gamercal now in go mode. He's got his big key, and I think part of it's a little ticked off. Oh, nice little shortcut there.
Ooh, haven't seen that before either.
No, that's a new one in my book. He's gonna go the long way around. I don't know if that's gonna be a smart move, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. Anytime he wastes is not gonna hurt him or help him because he's already too far behind. Since Azaza is just finishing off Moldorm 2. Nicely done. No trolling this time. And he's not gonna check the inevitable conclusion chest. He's gonna go right to the end. Yeah, I agree with chat. Can someone clip that shortcut there the gamercal just pulled? I think we need a clip of that. And Azaza's now taking on Aga 2. Gonna try to get a good setup here. He gets a single out of it. Almost got a triple out of that, but got a double. Oh, what the heck happened there?
Good question. Aga decided to be just as obnoxious as the first fight, just in new and exciting ways.
But he takes him down. Down goes Agahnim 2, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time for the Big Pig.
Here's everyone's favorite plot flute.
gamercal now starting his way up the gauntlet here as Azazas is now taking on Ganon. And like I said, with butter sword, red mail, and silver arrows, this fight is going to be no problem here for Azazas.
Yep, gamercal's best hope is that Azazas takes a little bit of a fall. That can cost you just enough time to to make up. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. At least not yet.
He's getting some nice doubles there. If you get one more, he can finish this. 1, 2, 3, dice, triple shot. Asazas taking down Ganon with no problem, ladies and gentlemen. This fight is over. Asazas getting his bacon, and as soon as he enters the door, we will be getting our official time. And he enters the room with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 51 seconds. Get your GZs intact, ladies and gentlemen. What a race!
And so ends the domination of Dr. Wily. The gamercal not very far behind, just making it through the whiz robes. Recitador, meanwhile, is coming on back up in go mode. So they're going to be making their way into the gauntlet in just a moment. Dr. Bob, I think he's heading to the pedestal.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be slightly disappointed, yet slightly relieved that he will not have to do a pedestal run and can skip most of Swamp Palace, though he will need to go. He skipped that when he got his flute.
Yep, it was actually the smart move not to fight Argus. That didn't get you much.
And to answer a question, chat, if you guys want to drop a clip from this race, use the command !clip along with a link to the clip you've made, and it will add it to our collection for us to use later on. So please be sure to share any clips you find.
And gamercal taking on Agahnim once again.
All right, we've got Asazas joining us here in the channel. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. I can't believe I won playing like that. I think that was the worst execution I've done so far in the tournament.
Well, you ended things with a Ganon triple, so I have to say good execution there for sure.
Well, it ended on a high note, but I am really not happy. I was really lucky in terms of the order I decided to complete the dungeons, because I didn't have to double dip anything, if I remember correctly.
To be fair, some of those dungeons were quite the mess in terms of item locations, so I don't think anyone believes that you guys had a bad double dip there. It's just some of those dungeons just trolled you hard, especially that GT Big Key. That is like the third race in a row I have seen where the GT Big Key was hiding in a pendant turtle rock.
Yeah, and I thought it made sense to check Ganon's Tower first, not only because more locations, but also because Ganon's Tower had ended up having two turtle rock keys. So it was very likely that they could lock something in turtle rock, something important.
No, you definitely made the right call there. Definitely no shame for that. And if it, but yeah, and to be fair, gamercal had just as rough a run as you did. He's just now on Ganon as we speak, and our bottom two runners, Recitador and DoctorBobtastic, are just now working their way through Ganon's Tower. Though Recitador is the only one up the gauntlet at this point.
A pretty close race then.
For sure, for sure.
And it looks like gamercal's just about finishing up. Gets his last hit. There's bacon for gamercal. We'll be getting his time here shortly. right, and he enters the room, gets an official SRL time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, 15 seconds. Again, get your GGs in chat, folks. But where do you think you had the biggest problem there, Asazas? Because you seem like you feel like you had a rough tee, but I didn't think so. Where do you think you had the most trouble?
Well, I didn't feel good about the beginning. At the beginning of the seed, mostly was that because, for example, I died near the Ice Road Cave, and then I wasn't feeling too good with my gameplay in general. I kind of warmed up afterwards, but at the beginning I had it really rough.
Well, that is fair, but making those fumbles early game, that gives you lots of time to make up for it, and indeed you did.
Yeah, and I think it was also quite important, like calling that Vanilla Thieves Town and all. Well, Vanilla Smokey with the hammer in there.
Yeah, I definitely think. Actually, I think one of the biggest things that helped you was actually on gamercal's end. He never picked up the lamp. He never turned in his mushroom, so he went through all the dark rooms without the lamp, and I think that caused him to skip out on the dark maze and pot at first, and you being able to full clear that immediately saved you a little bit of time.
Yeah, I thought it would be like something like that. Like, I wasn't confident on winning this one all throughout. So I definitely believe that it was something dumb like that this seeds throw at you.
It's Keysanity in a nutshell for you. But hey, again, you pulled through, you gave it your best, and you ended up winning. So you're going to get to move on to the big tiebreaker round coming up. How do you feel about that? Do you think you got a good chance at that?
I definitely think I am probably one of the weakest players in that tiebreaker, as well as I thought I was one of the weakest players in 3-1. I didn't expect like getting here at all, and mostly after losing in the very first week. But well, I guess we are here now, and all I can do at least is try.
All right, well, we have gamercal now joining us here as well. Gamercal, GG, my friend.
Hello. Wow, that's a bit of a surprise. But hey, I can only assume that Turtle Rock was done before GT then, at the end?
No, actually, he did the exact same route you did. Honestly, the way I see things, the one thing that hurt you was never turning in that mushroom, because that's where the lamp was.
Oh, I knew that was where the lamp was. That's why I didn't turn it in.
So you did that on purpose, but to be fair, I think doing that and then ended up double running the dark maze because you didn't do it the first time. I think that cost you that tiny bit of time that you used to win.
Well, to be fair, no mirror going through the first time. I'd have had to save quit if I didn't run back through that, so it would have been a gamble to skip it, basically. There's no way that I could have actually done it and finished the dungeon at the same time, so that's irrespective of having the lamp.
Fair point, but nonetheless, I think that ended up costing you, because I think not having that mirror probably killed your time.
Yeah.
But still,
was it an entertaining run at least?
It was fascinating. I was about to say, you put on quite the show for our viewers.
Yeah, I think I had a pretty good showcase on this one, so it's I'm not like remotely upset with this at all. I mean, I didn't expect to win more than one game in this tourney, I'll be totally honest, because I've said a lot of times that Keysanity is a bit of a crapshoot when it comes to you know, just one lucky thing can cost like 20 minutes for people. But I felt like, other than maybe the shakiness of the early game, because of just, you know, getting sorted out. Sorry for the late start. My internet died, so you know. Other than the shakiness at the start, and I thought maybe the ending, but then I figured you wouldn't go Penda T-Rock, the GTB, and like it just didn't make any sense. So I know, even though it wasn't the right play to go GT this time, if you will, I wouldn't make a different decision no matter what, really. Especially when you can't even finish Turtle Rock because you don't have enough keys, you know.
Yeah, both those keys end up being in Ganon's tower, so you kind of had to go in there to get them.
Yeah, you could have gone to that big key where it was without going into GT beforehand, but, you know, you'd have to be even more clairvoyant than I felt like I was half of the time in this seed in order to know that. And I already felt like it was borderline ridiculous, a couple of the things that I went on in this seed, so, you know.
Well, if it makes you feel better, you still beat our bottom two runners. Recitador is just now finishing up Ganon here. He's on the final phase. And Dr. Bob is still not even finished his first run of Ganon's tower. So that should give you an idea of how far ahead you guys were.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Recitador actually just finishing up Ganon here. So he's gonna be we're going to be getting his time here shortly.
Nice. Well, I said I'm only slightly surprised just because of some of the way the like sequence brace worked out, like going into ice to get the bow, which then had that really lucky vanilla big key in Palace of Darkness, you know, stuff like that. Just thinking, yeah, that's a really big deal. Most of the time, you're gonna have to double dip that, especially with where it ended up. But I forget where the Tower Hera big key was. Actually, because that would be a pretty big deal.
That was inside Spectacle Rock.
Oh, yeah, that was right near the start. Okay, yeah, because I bomb jumped past that. Okay. Yeah, I was... Okay, so I could have gone back up really early to get the flippers. Fair enough.
No, actually, I think that's where the mirror was in Hera, not the flippers. Yeah. Flippers were...
but flippers were for Moldorm himself. The mirror was the big chest.
Oh, that's right.
And then Ice Rod was in the basement.
Anyway, we've got Recitador here finishing with a time of 2 hours, 16 minutes, 16 seconds, and he now joins us in the channel. GG, and congratulations on your win, Recitador.
Thanks.
So I think the big question we've asked everybody so far is, how about that GT big key once again being in a very trolly spot?
I'm actually more impressed by the beginning sequence.
Oh, yes, having to do Agahnim to get to that hook shot. That was a thing. That was definitely a thing that happened.
Yeah, it dragged you around a lot at the beginning just to get Dark World access. And the funny part is we weren't actually supposed to have mitts until way after we actually did. So what it wanted you to do once you got the Moon Pearl was go to the Castle Gate and then do the long way around and just, you know, generally do the annoying thing.
What? How would you have gotten the Moon Pearl without the hook shot?
I said the mitts, not the hook shot.
Yeah, the mitts were in the dark chest in Aga Tower. So you'd have picked that up on the way past, because you needed to get the hook shot from Lumberjack in order to get the out from the mountain.
Yeah, but the gloves were downstairs in Hyrule Castle, which is not in logic until you have the Hyrule Castle small key. So really? We were supposed to go to left side swamp to get mitts.
But where was the Hyrule Castle small key then? Because I got that really late.
Left side swamp, which was what we were supposed to do to get the mitts.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all.
That seems really convoluted, but okay.
It's Keysanity. Of course, it's really convoluted.
I was actually a little worried when I saw the Hyrule Castle small key and thought I got baited into swamp for nothing but the mitts, logical access to the mitts, and then I was very relieved when the flute happened along.
Yeah, I think you were the first one to get the flute, actually. You were the first one to dip in a swamp as early as you did. So I think that paid out for you there. But this seed was rough in general, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I was actually eyeing that Turtle Rock access, and you have no idea how close I was to going up to Turtle Rock just because I figured the pod big key would be up there. But I was like, if I'm wrong, it'll cost me time. But in the end, it would have actually saved me a lot of time if I'd have done that.
Yeah, you would have gotten that big key early, and you were like, okay, this kind of worked out in the end.
I also avoided Thieves Town for a long time because the small key is needed to put blind in logic, so I was like, let me hold off, and then I can get that big chest if I need to, and then it just turned out to be right there in the vanilla location.
Yeah, that happened a lot, actually. Big key for Thieves Town as well, or small key for Thieves Town inside of its dungeon, big key for pod in its dungeon. There was a lot of vanilla dungeons locations in this one.
Yes, and I think I also very much appreciated how I got the 2 useless big keys on my way to the Ganon's Tower key.
Yeah, that was...
Just had to show you that a little bit more.
I was like, oh no, don't, please, just let me go already.
Oh, we were all saying the same thing. We're like, oh, you tease.
I was actually figuring pet at that point because I knew Skull, like it was in logic, and I was like, well, it can't just be the green pendant because somebody else would have done Skull like Mothula way before me because they're better at it, and I would just ignored it because of my equipment at the time, and it wasn't in logic. So I was like, it's not just the green pendant; it's probably the pedestal. I'm just gonna go to Turtle Rock, and we'll just do this.
I had done Moth, I think it's like my second boss after Lanmo. And well, okay, technically third because Aga, but yeah, I'd done Moth really early because I half magic kind of went really well actually. I think about 10 fire rod shots. So yeah, that was quite nice. But yeah, I don't know, it's just bizarre how some of the stuff ended up with this. I think if GT Big Key were just about anywhere else, I'm alright with this, but that's fine. Everybody's gonna get messed up by that one because like, why would you go to the rock first when you've got all the items in GT to go for and you can't even finish TR? Why would you go there first?
Yeah, speaking of, DoctorBobtastic just got his big key to GT. He is now in go mode.
Yeah.
Probably kicking himself for how far behind he is, but he's getting there.
Well, if I'm to go out without going into the playoff or anything like this, though, at least it's a seed like this where I can showcase a lot of the glitches. That's the main thing I'm gonna take away from this. Rip not being able to do water walking at the start, but not patched in again yet. But
yeah. Yeah, you did a lot of interesting glitches. The one that really caught us off guard was in Turtle Rock when you did that bonk jump over the railing to get back onto to go the long way back through Turtle Rock. I've never seen that before.
Oh right, yeah, I think I stole that one from Christos. I forget when he was doing that, but that's like one of two big things, that and the Palace of Darkness bomb jump that see that much player, like two things I've nicked from his stream, which has been pretty good. I wasn't sure which way around I was supposed to, would be best to go back. So I figured if I go back round dungeon, that seems reasonable enough. I couldn't just mirror, because of course you've just come out of an entrance. I could have maybe mirrored outside Spiral Cave and then like back through, but I don't know which one's actually faster. It's the first time I've been in that sort of situation, so I figured they might be at least roughly equivalent, so I just went through the dungeon again, because then I'm still in Dark World.
Yeah, chat was throwing around a lot of ideas, but that was certainly the most showy.
Seems like my seed in the nutshell, to be honest.
Yeah, the other hand. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, I knew the lamp had to be at the mushroom. It's like, well, I've got fire rod. I've done this before. I don't want to waste the time going for that lamp, so just do that. And I'm pretty decent with most of the dark rooms. It's not really gonna cost me too much time overall to do that. Like, you probably see Misery Mire went pretty well as well with that. I've gotten them down enough where it's not going to slow me down a huge amount to have to do dark rooms instead. So I was like, well, skip that, and then if I get the flute at some point, maybe I'll come back and get it, but whatever, let's just have some fun with this one.
Yeah, I was going to say that. On the other hand, I don't think a sequence broke at all during this seed. I didn't do anything strange, remotely strange.
See, the player that I thought would give me the edge the most was when I went into like Ice Palace straight after doing the Thieves Town loop, that stuff. I went into Ice before I went near like Palace Darkness and Eastern the second time, so I got the bow before I was before I had to go back and like turn in Green Pendant and stuff, so I could do Eastern. Went into Palace Darkness, got that full cleared in one shot. So thinking, okay, the efficiency of this is really good, but obviously Mire was a little bit of a better one in the end.
Yeah, so going up to Hera, like that was the step right before doing Ice.
Yes.
So. That had to have the mirror and the flute. We were saying when you did that, oh, he's just, sequence broken because fake flipper. And then Asazas, I believe got the flippers. And we were like, well, not that much.
Yeah, see, I wanted to try and find a Hera small keyboard going back up, which I eventually did, because Hera was about the last thing that I ended up doing. So I did get the small keyboard getting up there again, but unfortunately it was one of those of, well, I'll try and jump ahead a little bit with this, because I might not need the flippers in this run, since I knew Swamp was a pendant. Got a lot of information really early in this one. But yeah, with knowing that Swamp is a pendant, thinking I might not need to go in there, so let's just get Ice out the way. I'll find the flippers at some point, they're probably in like Palace Darkness or something. Obviously not this time, but, the logic was that I could do all of this dungeon now, I might get stuff to do like all of the next dungeon in one shot, and I can avoid double dipping a lot of the places. And yeah, but as it turns out, you needed to do Swamp anyway because the flute was there, but the stuff to do that was in Tower of Hera, so whatever,
Alright, Dr. Bob now working his way up. He's up to land mode 2 right now. So we're about nearing the end of this race, ladies and gentlemen, but my God, what a seat is this one. But since we've got some time to kill, why don't we give you guys some rundowns of what's happening the rest of the today here, because we've got a ton of races going on. In fact, as we speak, over on Speed Gaming 2, we've got Ozapone and Shady Force, as well as Swerve versus Genjin, a quad race. Definitely don't want to miss out on that. Starting up in about 20 minutes, we've got Levon Firestorm versus Buckshot Boo over on ALTTP Randomizer 1. 5 o'clock, we're going to have Yoshi 348 versus Zelnus. At 6 p.m., we've got a big race for you guys. Nif Boy versus Willard J. Bradley over on Speed Gaming. You don't want to miss out on that. 6 o'clock, we've got Terrance versus Spooty Biscuit. And at 7, we've got another quad race. Actaboker versus Mystican and Duke Firebird versus Alucard 2004. That's going to be an epic one. Don't want to miss that. 8 p.m., we have D2 Chems versus T2 over on Speed Gaming 3, as well as Walking Eye versus Centroid 41. Another quad race for you. 8 p.m., we've also got Dragon Master 0283 versus Final Flame 83 on ALTTPR 2. And if you want an epic race, we've got a big one for you at 9 p.m. over on Speed Gaming. We've got In the Name of DT versus Andy, an epic race. That is going to be hype as heck, so don't miss out on that. 10 p.m., we have X Ice Blue versus Manuel 1907 on ALTTPR 1. And finally, at 11 p.m., we have another quad race, Sigma Sin versus Brewers Fan JP, and Chex Human versus Ivan on Speed Gaming 3. That is all just today, folks. It's going to be insane. You definitely don't want to miss that.
Yep, and we have got more races going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Thursday schedule looks about as full as Wednesday, so you'll have plenty that you could go watch tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. Make sure you give a follow to all of our channels, Speed Gaming 1 through 4, ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4, and of course, Randomania 1 through 4. And of course, absolutely make sure you give a follow to all of our runners here, gamercal, Azazas, Recitador, and Doctorbobtastic, as well as our trackers, Dragon Strike 1988 and Jixon, and of course, myself and my co-commentator, Huffin. Huffin, it's been a pleasure working with you tonight.
Not a problem at all. I believe we may stick around a little longer as Dr. Bob fights Moldorm, but I believe we have another run on this channel coming up fairly soon. I don't believe it's the Link to Past Randomizer, but Speed Gaming hosts a large number of tournaments, so there's plenty for you to watch.
Yep, I'm actually pulling up the main schedule right now to see what we've got going on here. Actually, I don't think we have anything going on here till 7 on this particular channel, but we do have a couple other races going on as we speak. We've got the Mega Man semifinal, Mega Man 1 semifinals, and we've got another race of Ori and the Blind Forest all going on. So definitely a lot to keep track of here. Again, so many tournaments, so many races, so much fun to watch. So make sure you follow all our channels and keep an eye on all the tournaments going on here on these channels.
Right, well, I'm going to head off that because I need to get some myself. Definitely after that. Like I say, glad it was an interesting run. GG Azaz, and best of luck in the definite meat grinder that's going to go on next to that. Yeah, pull through for me, will you?
Yeah, thank you. GG as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, GTT gamercal. Take it easy, dude.
Yeah, that mega race that we've been mentioning will happen sometime next week. I don't believe we have a schedule planned for that just yet, but that will be all of our racers who are standing at 4-1 as we finish this group stage, and that's quite a few. I believe it's 16 at least, possibly more. And they will all be fighting for that last spot in the finals, along with all our runners who managed to go 5-0 throughout the group stage.
So if you thought this race was insane, or keysane as we should say, then definitely check out that big epic race coming up next week. Once we get all the races determined, you can imagine we're going to see some big names in that run. Holy cow. Meanwhile, Dr. Bob now starting his fight with the big pig as we are nearing the end of this race.
Oh, it seems Dragon Master correcting me. I was off by a factor of 2. It'll be closer to 32 runners, not 16.
It's still pretty epic no matter how you look at it. Dr. Bob using one of his pushes there to get his health, keep his health up for the final phase. Does not want to delay this any longer than he has to. All right, and the final phase begins here. He's going to set him up, hopefully get a good hit. Ooh, nice shot. Couldn't quite get the torch glitch, but he doesn't need it. He's got silvers. He's got plenty of magic. He's in good shape. One more shot should do it. Oop. There we go. And with that, DoctorBobtastic gets his bacon. And he enters the room with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 54 seconds. Get your GGs in chat one last time, folks. We are at our end. We're going to try to see if we can get Dr. Bob in here for a quick chat before we wrap things up. And speaking of which, there he is now, Dr. Bob joining us here in the channel. GG, my friend.
So do you guys know what a person on full tilt looks like?
Oh, dear.
Did you watch that Agahnim 2 fight? Because that's what that was.
Well, I mean, if any seed is going to put you on tilt, this is high up there on the list.
Yeah, like, well, just basically everything on the way up Ganon Sour, I just kind of went all over it. That's the technical term, I believe. But yeah, you know, this was a thing. So my rule about unless you absolutely can't have no other options, don't go independent swamp kind of backfired on me.
Yeah, honestly, there were a lot of good rules of thumb that everyone followed, or at least a number of runners followed, that ended up not working out. You know, diving into Ganon's Tower before going into Turtle Rock makes total sense.
Yeah,
it wasn't the right play.
Plenty of sense. It's, I think, in most seeds, it is the right play. And to be fair, a couple of the Turtle Rock keys were in there as well, so you were just like, eh. And of course, Turtle Rock was what actually put me on tilt, because it was like, oh, here's a big key to Swamp. Here's a big key to Skullwoods. And then it finally gave me the big one. I was like, okay, fine.
Oh, we were saying that ourselves when we saw everyone else get it. It's like, oh, is this it? No! Is this it? No! Is it? Oh, finally, there it is.
Yeah, that was the only big key left at that point. So I was like, yeah. And then I mirrored out to like 2 feet away, and then anyway.
Still, you know, good effort here to finish things out here. If you're gonna go out swinging, right?
Yeah, I did. I don't know if anybody else pulled this move, but my favorite thing that I did actually was do the pedestal check before I go to Ganon's Tower, just in case.
Oh, I did see that actually, and you weren't the only one who did the check either. So I bet you were slightly unnerved that you had to go. That there was a waste of time, but at the same time, slightly relieved that you didn't have to go through all that trouble.
Yeah. So one thing that was bothering me the entire seed until I found it in Swamp, and I knew it had to be in Swamp. It was just on the left side. Was the Hyrule Castle small key.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because the glove
we were
was in there,
that.
and I was like, "What?"
Yep, we were discussing that logic earlier. That was a thing. That was absolutely a thing the game expected you to do.
Yeah. And I only really sequence broke around that to do Ice Palace. Because basically everything else was still hands off until you could get the flute, which was once again in Swamp. Because that's how Swamp is.
Of course.
And there were a lot of things that didn't need to be done, and I did them all.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Wasn't the glove in Zelda's chest?
It was in Boomerang chest.
Oh, Boomerang chest.
Which is 100% locked by the small key in the logic, anyway.
Yeah, I had a moment when I got the Moon Pearl, and I was like, well, I can do the mountain, but I'm not supposed to. And I was just like, where does the logic want me to go right now? And I was like, oh, well, it just probably wants me to go into the castle gate and hook around to Skullwoods and whatever. So I'm just going to take the nice route and go from Sanctuary.
Yeah, seems good. I mean, I went ahead and did the Dark Death Mountain while I was up there, because it was just like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I actually did Swamp before I did Ice Palace, so I wasn't sequence breaking at that point, but I did everything else Myths related.
Yeah, I knew in my head when I went into Swamp, or when I went into Ice, I was like, it actually has to be Swamp at this point, doesn't it? Dang it.
You have no idea when I saw that small key.
Yeah, but basically I was hoping that the only thing in Swamp was the Hyrule Castle small key, and I could just get around it. But that was not the case.
I was pretty afraid that that was the only thing in there when I saw it, and I was like, oh no, I took the bait, and this is all that it's here. It's just logically getting me the gloves. And I was like, I'm so boned. And then I went further and got the flute, and was a lot happier with my decision.
So other than that Ganon's Tower Big Key, was there anything that trolled anybody? Like, did anybody get trolled by the ice rod or something? Just, like, not go to the basement of Hera or something? Which you didn't need the ice rod, but still, I felt like, oh, look, that's the thing. Hera was like, hey, here's all the blue items.
Well, Asazas was the only one not to grab the ice rod. As he said, it wasn't necessary. So that actually kind of untrolled.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, basically the opening sequence trolled everybody.
And did anybody not get Butter Sword?
No, everybody got it.
Okay. Just wondering if somebody like skipped Graveyard Ledge or something.
No, everyone pretty much got everything. Like, I think the only thing that nobody got was Shovel. We still don't know where Shovel is, and that's probably on Laser Bridge.
Yeah. When I was going to, what is it, the Graveyard Ledge, I was like, okay, I'm going to Swamp after this, unless I find the Master Sword. In which case, I'm going to Bombo's Tablet. That didn't help, but it was kind of hilarious that the Master Sword was right in there. I was like, oh, okay, fine.
I actually had a couple of those happy accidents. Like, I routed to, when I had the Smith, I routed to Catfish and got the Hera small key before I went to Hera. And then I was like, I'm going into Swamp, but first I'm going to check the Graveyard Ledge and Bombo's Tablet, just read and see what it was. And then I got the Master Sword before I went into Swamp, and I was like, well, that makes the Argus fight a lot nicer.
Because nobody likes Menu Boss.
Absolutely not. All right, so we do need to wrap things up. But any final thoughts from you guys before we sign off?
It's been fun. I hope to, commentate my way through some of the other races in this race, but I'll see you on the other side. And there's also that 2v2 tournament that is coming up, which I'm gonna be in and be bad. It's gonna be fun. Anyway.
I know of what you speak of, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing how that plays out as well. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've had a blast doing this tournament, even if the seeds have been a little crazy for me. I think I've had like one kind of normal seed out of all 5, and GG to all the runners in the tournament, all the commentators, trackers, Speed Gaming for throwing it together. It's been fun to do to commentate, track, run, all of it.
Yeah,
We enjoyed. Sorry, go ahead, Azazel.
Yeah, I think now I have to root for DT versus Sandy.
You don't want to deal with the Hover Master, huh?
Well, if DT wins, then 2 people get in from the tiebreaker race.
Yeah, because I think Andy's 4-0, so he's already guaranteed in. You want him to win, so you don't have to deal with him until later.
Yeah, the pair down loss would open up another slot. Makes a lot of people are really rooting for DT right now.
Absolutely.
Anyway, again, GG to all of you guys. Fantastic race. We enjoyed doing this. Have you had some final words there?
I just want to say, again, that DT Andy race is at 9 p.m. tonight. So if you want to root for DT or Andy, or both, or neither, feel free to come over to Speed Gaming and check that out then.
Absolutely. Definitely don't want to miss out on that, as well as all the other races we've got going on today. Make sure you check all those out. In the meantime, again, make sure you give these guys a follow on Twitch. Show them some support for this awesome race. And until then, on behalf of everybody here at the Speed Gaming family, my name is DeShades, and as I always like to say, rock on, guys!
Adios, take care,